어깨빵 9-4 샷건 얼굴 따위로 아이돌 하는 놈 아니니까 follow me 하이톤 샷건 실력만으로 아이돌 하는 놈 암기 가서 나온 놈이 샵 두더지 유엔 난 따라가지.
Circles mean something. Do you guys realize that? Reflection. Aha, so after beating Beatrice or seeing Beatrice or Eva, she starts to self-reflect to find himself and a new purpose.
The other realm, however, overlapping half our house, was completely different. A loud mixture of horrendous, intriguing, frightful, mysterious things, including slaughterhouses and prisons, junkyards and screeching fishwives, calving cows, horses sinking to their death, tales of robberies, murders, and suicides.
So his perfect picture wasn't really perfect because there was a whole different other side to his sheltered world. That's nice. I really want to read this book. Is that Batman? I'm sorry. Finally, I've been wondering when you're gonna show up, boo. So he's tattooing the sparrow on his hand. How he held that kind of looked like the wings of a sparrow, no? Does he just say? So it's consuming him. And then the different images of his self. So which is a true self? Oh, his beliefs are shattering. Everything is shattering in his mind, his shelter, where he was being held. His image of life, of good and evil, was shattered. So that's a call coming that could help him. I wish I could be myself. See? UAR. What does the UAR stand for though? Ah! Ooh, I get it now. Okay. Alright, so I feel like that was kind of self-explanatory, especially with my comments, so I don't need to say anything about it. But let's see 6.
With a face that resembled her son's, timeless,
When he met Eva.
ageless, and full of inner strength, the beautiful woman smiled with dignity. Her gaze was fulfillment, her greeting a homecoming. Silently, I stretched my hands out to her.
Mama, Eva. So you finally meet. Are those peels? Oh yeah, they're peels. So meeting her opened up his self-awareness. open his mind. Ah, the painting from the beginning, y'all remember? Sneak? What the heck? That's so random. Ah, and then the picture of the mother and the child. Eva is raising on the painting. Eva! So yeah, this is talking about Eva. I like how the circles all mean something. I'm so glad I realized this right from the start, because I'm awesome like that. Anyway, this is basically talking about Eva, his whole relationship with Eva. Eva is Damien's mom. For those of you who haven't read the Sparknotes version of the book or the original version of the book, Damien's mom. And I feel like I may have to sit down at the end of this whole whatever and tell you the story of the book, give you a brief summary of the book. But anyway, Eva is Damien's mom and his love interest, Sinclair's love interest. So I feel like in this, it's showing how basically he finally met, like Ratmon said in the beginning, how he finally met Eva, and he could see Damien in her and her in Damien and the whole shenanigans. Basically how he finally met Eva and she opened up a new world in him. You know how in the book, for those of you who have read the Sparknotes version of the book or the real book itself, Eva helped him realize his self-will and helped him find his self-will and also like a new purpose in his life and all. It was through meeting her that she told him that, look here dude, if you really want me, like if you really want me, then you shouldn't just have the will, you should be able to act upon that will of yours. So I feel like this is showing how she opened his mind to show how he was still trapped in himself. Yes, he can see the differences of like good and evil. He can see how he was in a sheltered world and there's a whole different world out there apart from the world that he was in, like seeing in that him being in the trapped room and his mind being in his mind, he was still trapped in his mind, and then him seeing the perfect picture and all, that he was still trapped in his own beliefs and he needed to come out of that trap that he was in, that cage, and then realize his true self, which is him walking out at the end. So finally, after meeting Eva, he was able to come out of his mind, like embrace and act on his self-will, because we saw when he was trapped in his mind in this, like when he was trapped in that room, he wanted to get out, but he wasn't acting upon it. Like it wasn't like someone was limiting him. He could get out on his own, but he hadn't gotten the self-will, the courage to be able to do that. And then finally we see that he was eating the Snickers. I don't know, I feel even though the Snickers was kind of random, it was Eva feeding him with all these thoughts and things about, okay, you need to act. You can't just keep sitting at one spot. You know all this information. It's now time for you to act on your will. And so finally, after eating all what she had given him. He acted on it by walking out of the room. So I really like I said, whoever is the director of this, I don't know if it was BTS, I was just telling them, okay, this is what we want. Whoever the brain is behind this, I have to give you props. Every single person involved in this process, because they are doing a really good job of interpreting the book Damien. Alright, now let's go to 7. Alright. He keeps entertainment.
The bird fights its way out of the egg. The egg is the world. Who would be born must first destroy a world. The bird flies to God. That God's name is Abraxas.
I was waiting. I'm like, when is Abraxas gonna get into this? Because we know the whole Abraxas Pistorius is also a huge part of his life. Whole Pistorius and Abraxas story is a huge part of his life. So I was wondering when that was gonna come in. And for those of you who are wondering, Abraxas is a god that has both good and evil, which is kind of contrary to the whole theory of who the real, who God is. Like the Jehovah God, according to the book Damien. But yeah, you can Google about it, like just Abraxas. So it's jeans time. So the apple, what's her name? Eve. Adam and Eve. What are those two things on the pillars of the bed? And then that spiral flying in his eye again. One, two, three, four, five, six. So it's the 7th picture, the one that Jane was holding in the prologue. Was it in the prologue or the epilogue of all of them? And then the mother one. Oh. The apple, the mother and the child, and him alone in the room. The piano. It all makes sense now! And this parrot. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yen. Wings. Oh my gosh. Alright, oh my gosh, first of all, let's talk about that song. I need a full version of this song, okay? This and the one that Jin was singing. Sorry, the one that V was singing. I need a full version of those two. But oh my freaking goodness, I loved this. I loved how BTS interpreted the book Damien so beautifully. That's why I feel like it's boy meets self, because at the end of everything he discovered himself. So boy meets himself, his true self, who he really is. And it's a really nice story if you read it and then you watch the whole BTS's interpretation. It's really nice, and they did a really good job of interpreting it. I hope I did a good job of telling you what the summary of the story is about. The whole story is just basically about how he found himself. And even the writer, it's basically psychology. That's what the whole book is about, which is funny because the writer himself, Hesse, or however you pronounce it, Hesse, was interested in psychology, and during the time he was writing Damien, he was learning about the psychology of, is it the judicial? I'll write it down, the word, but it basically talks about all these aspects that you see in the book Damien and all. So I think that's really interesting, and I like how it was also showcased in BTS's MV. There's so much more to it with the whole duality of two worlds, how something appears real, like the whole concept of the Maya, Hinduism concept of Maya, how you see something but it's an illusion, you think it's real but it's not really real, it's not really there, kind of like a mirage in the desert. But my whole theory at the end of the day, what I was gonna say about like Damien, which comes down to this now also, like even in the book Damien, this is my thought. I feel Damien all along was himself, was what's his name, Sinclair, and him finding himself. So it's kind of like, for those of you who have watched It's Okay That's Love, it was a part of himself and in his mind that he created to be real in order to find himself. Like Damien was something he created in order to find himself. And when he finally found himself, kind of like in It's Okay That's Love, when Joe himself finally realized everything and all, he let go of D.O. and he no longer needed D.O. He no longer needed D.O. because he kind of found himself and he was healed. That's kind of the same thing with the whole Damien Sinclair relationship. Damien was a part of himself that he needed, will I say a split personality kinda, that he needed in order to find himself. And when he finally found himself, Damien, Eva, all of them were needed to find himself, except Pistorius, which I feel is real. But when he finally found himself, he no longer needed all these entities and multiple personalities that he created, and he was now truly Sinclair. That's kind of what I thought at the end of reading the Spark Notes summary of what Damien is about. But what do you all think? Let me know in the comments down below. I definitely enjoyed this, and me seeing notifications every time, even though I never watch it, I still freak out. I'll miss seeing the notifications of this Wings coming out. Well, I can't wait for the Comeback album. This is gonna be a beautiful work of art that they have been using up. The fact that they've been getting ready from this right from the beginning is what just drives me crazy and really amazes me and awes me and wows me. But yeah, let me know what you all think in the comments down below. I'll leave a link below for the cartoon version of Damien, so you can check it out and also have your own opinions and understandings of what this may mean without actually reading everyone's theory. Form your own theory. That's kind of what I feel Damien is about. It's like the writer Casey himself said that writers shouldn't think of themselves as gods, that, oh, I'm the only one that knows how this should go. You as the reader should be able to form your own opinions of what you think it should mean and go with that, because everyone sees one picture, but we all have different interpretations of what that picture should be. Like I said, comes back to the psychology of the mind again. But anyway, let me know what you all think in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave the video, like, don't forget to share, subscribe, and see you on the beautiful video after. All you now, love.